Very good.
Recording in progress.
Good job. And let's do this. For those of you who somehow do not already know me, if any of you don't, I am Alexis Witt. I am the president of the board, at least for one more year until my term is done. And let's see if we can get to the next slide.
Just one.
For those of you who have been to an annual meeting before, you will recognize this order of events. We follow the same plan every single year. But for those of you for this is your first, welcome. This will be our plan for this evening. Mostly straightforward stuff. We're going to do some quick introductions to let you know who is who in terms of folks on the board, staff, etc. Then we will do some of our sort of administrative required by our bylaws just to check some boxes stuff. I will say a few words just to kind of give you my rundown of the season. And then Donna will talk about a few things that are important to her as executive director. Then we will have a little video from Rio that will probably make us cry. Be forewarned, maybe we should have brought tissues. And then you will get to meet Michael Patterson, our new music director, and hear a bit from him and find out a bit about what we will be doing this season. Then there will be just a reminder that if you have not already done your ballot, you can do so at that point. Hopefully you already have, but we do have 3 new directors that need to get approved onto our board. Then I will give the usual spiel to join a committee. You know that's coming. And then at that point, after all of that stuff, that's when it'll be your chance to ask any questions that you may have, to give us any comments that you may have, to give us your brilliant ideas that you may have, any of that kind of stuff. But I do ask that you hold those questions, comments, brilliant ideas, epiphanies, so on, until that point in the meeting, please. And then we'll be done. So pretty easy. First up with our introduction. For the folks who are here with us in the room today, I do ask maybe if you give us a little wave, let us know who you are. Let's not do the applause thing, but do wave back or blow kisses or whatever is most comfortable for you. You probably already know her, but Donna Lafferty, our executive director. Kit is not here. Kit is on her way. Kit Boulding, our concert leader. Marianne Ritter, our librarian. Kira Gartel, our all-around orchestra manager. Michael Patterson, our new music director. Oh my God, right? Can't speak.
The hair will grow back, don't worry. Summer's here.
Then you all know Rio Takagawa, our outgoing music director, and hopefully you have met Lane Rogers, our production manager. She's been with us now for 2 concerts, settling in really nice. So that was our staff. Now we have several officers. These are the folks who actually have titles, more specific roles that they play within the orchestra. This is also a good opportunity to remind everyone that all of our board members, all of our officers, just like the vast majority of people who play in the orchestra, these are all volunteers. So whenever you see us looking stressed, please just give us a little pat on the back. we're doing our best, I promise. But most of our officers are connected to the board in some way, but not all. So you know me, I'm the president. We have Katie Chapman, who is serving as our interim treasurer. This is a good opportunity to emphasize the interim part of that. She doesn't want to be treasurer for longer than at least the next month or 2. We do need someone to step into that role. So if you think that could be you, come talk to me. So currently vacant is the vice president position. David Dawson is outgoing from the vice president position, although still on the board. Currently vacant is the treasurer position. Andrea Donovan was outgoing there. Megan Rollins outgoing as our secretary, but Katie Pettis is coming in as our secretary. And then we have Carl Weinberg, who is not on the board, but is our vice president of collaborative.
He's in his car, hopefully not driving. No, he's just zooming. He's zooming.
we have 4 folks who are currently on the board who are still staying on the board. They are not up for re-election. They are just in the middle of their various terms. So we have Aaron Lynn, Michael Matner, I should say 61, Janet Welch, and David Dawson. And then I already mentioned Katie as our interim treasurer and myself. And then we have 4 folks who have completed their terms or who have left their terms. And we do want to give an extra special thank you to all of them because this really is a service to the BSO. And we couldn't do this without people willing to volunteer. So a big thank you to Wilson Shatandi, Megan Rollins, Catherine Bow Newland, and Anthony. Well, thank you guys. Vote in. So reminder, we have 3 folks joining our board pending your approval. Rachel Kearney, Lamar Hilton, and Felix Bradford. Now to be back. If you want to be a part of that good group of people, let me know. We can always use more work. So now we have some administrative boxes to check. Katie, your first,
Megan, my very
role,
first
yes.
role. I'm Katie. You will receive the board's going to see a lot more of me than the rest of you because I'm just secretary this year. But Megan sent everyone an email announcing this invitation per the bylaws on 6/24/26. If you would like the minutes from last year's annual meeting, they are available upon request, as will these be soon. Not today.
No, no.
Yeah, all of those are public records. So if you want to have them for yourself, just let us know. We're always happy to send you a copy. We're always happy to send you the link. They are yours if you want. So now my report, a few words about how I think this season went, things that I took away from this season and things that I am learning and taking into the next season as well. So the big elephant in the room, the good elephant in the room, was Beethoven. It was a pretty phenomenal way to end a season. This was the big success story of the season. I assume all of you were probably there, either on the stage, in the choir, or in the audience in some capacity. Maybe you can see yourself out in that audience somewhere. For those of you who are not aware, we sold out. According to their box office manager that we worked with that evening, that was the first time that whole season that they had sold out. And given their season ended like right after us, probably was the only one that they sold out that whole season. So good on us. That is 1,341 tickets by their official challenge. As I know, this is a record for us as well. So in the IDS, the Indiana Daily Student, right up after the solar eclipse concert, now like what, 3-4 years ago, whenever that was, she estimated we had 1,300 at Switchard Park in attendance at that free concert. That's just an estimate. We don't know how many people actually were sitting out on the lawn there. We do have a solid number here, and these people who actually paid money for tickets. Yeah, we like that a lot. So according to the survey responses that we got back afterwards, which take with a grain of salt, it's not necessarily going to be everybody who responds to surveys. But according to those surveys, we do know that approximately 1/4 of that audience was brand new to the BSO. And if you're doing the math, 1/4 of that audience was more than the total number of people who came to any of the single BCT concerts elsewhere in the season. So that's a lot of new people. And hopefully some people that we can continue to connect with and encourage to come back. That's exciting. We also know that most of these patrons heard about the concert through word of mouth. So we are hoping to empower our members and empower as many people as possible to continue saying good things and talking about us and telling all of their friends to come to the concert. So I could just sit on Beethoven, just let that be the success story. Just take the win and be happy about it. The numbers that you're gonna see in just a minute for the financials for this season will tell a really great story. Things look good right now. Beethoven did that for us. So like I said, I could just sit on the win and could just leave it be with the happy good news. But that would deprive us of the opportunity to learn from the rest of the season. And to also celebrate the other wins from the rest of the season that maybe got eclipsed by Beethoven. But there's a lot we can learn from the season. I want to make sure that we do. So, as I said, Beethoven was the big success, but we did fall short elsewhere in terms of ticket sales. Each of the concerts that we had at the Buster Chumley, of which for the rest of the season there were 3 last season, they each were sub 300, and those included the comps. So that ain't great. That is not our goal. That is not our target. That is significantly less than what we hope to see when we're at us. So we want to try to work to improve those numbers. But there are some other really good things that we need to learn from and need to take away to maybe help us in improving some of those numbers. The first is that kind of the 2 big successes, the 2 really important concerts, I think, were obviously the Beethoven in May, but also the January chamber orchestra concert at Switchyard Pavilion image here. I think the snow had started at that
Oh, yes.
concert. But what we learned in the feedback that we got from both of those concerts is that our patrons and our performers loved those concerts. They were fun to play. They were fun to be at. It was great to be in a different venue. Those venues also have lower ticket prices for us, which ain't nothing. So lots that we can learn from there. Also, things that we saw elsewhere in the season, that when we took big artistic risks and did interesting things artistically, that went over well often with the performers. I'm glad we took those risks. I think especially things like the March concert with the Shakuhachi concerto were artistically triumphal. Like they were magical. I keep saying that. Magical, amazing concerts. Did not translate into financials. So our job moving forward is to figure that out, to still take those risks, to still go big in terms of the artistic plans that we have, but to also try to connect to more people. So that's kind of, those are my big things. So now I think, Donna, over to you. Okay.
I'm gonna keep pretty brief because there's a lot to cover. Can you all hear me?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So I've been thinking a lot about community and the importance of community and community building. The orchestra's been around 57 years. I've been in the orchestra since 98, so whatever that makes, like 27, 28 years, something like that, for a long time. And I've seen the community grow around the orchestra, within the orchestra. I've seen a lot more people taking on more roles, more different things by the orchestra being done collaboratively rather than just one person chewing out everything. There are, we have common goals. We want to see the success of this. We want to be part of the community. We want the orchestra to succeed financially, but also artistically. Our ideals are the same. We want to perform at a high level. We don't want to disappoint anybody in the orchestra. And life can just be better when we all do that. So there are some people that do a lot for the orchestra. Everybody does, a little bit of something. Some may just play in the orchestra and maybe occasionally volunteer once in a while when we need somebody to set up chairs. Somebody else may be on like a committee here, play in the orchestra, and then help with the stage management or something like that. So there's a lot of people that do a lot of different roles. Some people do a lot and some people do all of the above, which is my next slide. You guys have seen these guys around, right? We didn't get a chance to give them a good send off, but Tom and Vicky have been part of the orchestra family for a very long time. They actually couldn't be here tonight because they had tickets for a ventriloquist contest. I saw Tom this weekend. I said, "You're gonna be at the meeting, right?" Yeah, yeah. And he's like, "Oh, no, I promised Vicky I was gonna take her to a ventriloquist contest."
Which one's this? I mean,
Yeah. I think they're voting. But anyway, so Tom and Vicky have been wonderful. Tom has been our very amusing and funny Santa Claus for what, 7, 8 years, something like that. He can sing. So we had a singing Santa. If we've got any other potential Santas out there, we are looking to replace him. It's not a huge priority, but if you know, Vicky was our designated pianist, so she did all of the piano anytime we needed somebody for a concert. She ran the poinsettia fundraiser. I mean, she and Kira were like the dream team for getting those poinsettias sold, getting them ordered, getting them delivered, and all that sort of thing. She's stepping back from that. So we'll still be able to use her contacts and stuff, but it's a very physical, labor-intensive job. So she's stepping back from that. And she ran education and outreach. So she was the one that coordinated getting things out for kids, getting educational opportunities out there for kids. So she's going to be really hard to replace. Anyway, so we owe them a lot of thanks, and hopefully they'll view this at some point and see that we love them. So anyway, can we stay? Right, speaking of human people, there's a guy here, Ken Buzzard is a former board president. He was board secretary, he was chair of the development committee. What else were you chair of? Everything. Not that I put it.
Subcommittee.
Oh, yeah.
Monroe was secretary at one time.
That's right.
Yeah.
So basically, the only thing he hasn't done is play second trombone because that's my job. So anyway, so Ken is going to come up here and talk real briefly about an endowment that he's just released. Okay.
Got my notes here because usually I do things on the fly, off the cuff. Don't trip.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Ken Buzzard. I know many of you, but for those who don't, I'm Ken Buzzard. I've been behind the scenes. I don't perform. Been helping out behind the scenes for the last 10, 15 years on various committees, volunteering, a donor, a sponsor, a supporter. A couple months ago, my kid Winter died. She was the only kid that me and Jen had. If you've known me for a great many years, Patrick, my son, and Winter, my daughter, are the same person. It's modern days. She passed away in Maryland back in April. We wanted to find a way to leave a legacy because at 25, you haven't left enough of a legacy behind. Her mother and I approached the orchestra about endowing a chair in the orchestra. We had 4, now we've got 5. And have you told anybody which chair? Is that my reveal? I'll reveal it. I'll reveal it.
It's actually right up behind you, but that's okay. Go ahead.
It is? Okay, yeah. So Winter played bassoon, but that chair's already endowed, and she also played spoons and ukulele and didgeridoo.
Didgeridoo chair.
And unless Michael's planning on adding a didgeridoo chair to BSO, yeah. So Jen and I both played violin, and there is no endowment for any of the strings. So we took it. Patrons have had 57 years to endow that chair. They didn't. It's mine. Okay. So we just signed the paperwork tonight. Congratulations, Kit. We have an endowment for a principal first violin chair now. What I wanted to say was we've structured this endowment the same way Sue Harton structured the endowment for Paul's tuba chair a couple of years ago. It's an open endowment. Okay. Endowments take a lot of money. It's a 5-figure buy-in to endow a chair. Okay. And you guys nobody has that in their couch cushions. Okay. And so it's really difficult, except possibly for end of life planning or estate planning, to endow a chair. We've decided to follow Sue's example and leave this as an open endowment so that if others wish to donate to that endowment without having to endow their own chair, they may do so. Sue endowed this $10,000 with the goal of doubling it to 20. I believe she achieved that. We're doing the same thing for the rest of we haven't actually got a deadline, but whether it's the rest of the calendar year or the rest of the orchestra year, donations to the endowment will go to the endowment and will help grow the future of the orchestra. Regular donations go into operating funds and are used to pay the rent and all the stuff that we need to keep the orchestra going. Endowments are for the forever aspect of the orchestra. Okay. They are invested on behalf of the orchestra at the end of the year. The interest and dividends that are generated by the endowments are split. Half goes to the performer who sat in that chair for the season. And the other half is reinvested to grow the endowment like a snowball rolling down a hill. The BSO is still young at this. Like I said, we've only got 5 endowed chairs. If you want to endow a chair, please do so. But if the wherewithal, if the bar for entry is a little high, and you would consider donating to the orchestra to support the endowment, we actually had a donation. I was told last night one of my family members is going to send in some money. She held off because she didn't want to let the cat out of the bag in case it wasn't publicly knowledge. So it's not about me. It's not even about the orchestra. It's about my kid, but it's also about the orchestra. So that's all I got, and let's move on. So.
Thank you. That's my intro.
Thank you to Kim. Thank you to Donna. And for anyone who is interested in donating specifically towards that endowed chair, please just make sure to specify that on your donation, on the little about line, or in Give Butter, you do a note. Just put Winter's name there,
Or the violin endowment.
or put a violin. Yeah, that'll be. So next up, we have our interim treasurer, Katie Chapman, giving our treasurer report. She is on Zoom.
Oh. How do I do that?
That's a good question.
Hi, all. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, great. Hi from South Carolina. I'm visiting family, so I couldn't be there tonight. Kira just stopped the sharing, so I can't see the slides anymore.
Yeah, that was not the thing to do.
But basically, I have been interim treasurer since May. And so for a summary of the year, as Alexis mentioned, the Beethoven concert was just so outstanding for so many reasons, both financially and musically. I was at the concert and it was just fantastic, right? It was amazing. And just kind of a quick overview of the entire financial year for the orchestra as a quick sum up. In large part, thanks to Beethoven, we were able to keep within our budget for the year overall, which is fantastic, and actually come out with some money in the bank, which is fantastic for the orchestra moving forward. There were areas where we definitely will keep an eye on for planning for the next year and future years that we know we want to keep an eye on. We didn't meet our goals in the budget for corporate donations or for fundraising overall. But despite that, with the help of the Beethoven concert and how well we did for ticket sales for that, the budget did actually wind up being not only balanced, but in our favor, which is a fantastic win for the orchestra and for any orchestra anywhere in the country right now, right? So really awesome overall in the year. I've got a few charts to break down. Sorry to make you tired all of a sudden with numbers and charts. Thank you, Kira. And so you can see overall revenue came in well above our budget. Fantastic news. You can see we got direct from public support. We did really well, came in well over our budget for that. Program income as well. Again, you can see fundraising income. We came in well under our aspired for amount and budgets. So we have that in mind, keep moving forward into the next year. Government grants kind of came balanced out. So pretty close to our budget. And again, we have a lot of really awesome folks who keep so much effort in the middle of keeping grants being applied for, making sure that we apply for anything eligible, and we're doing a great job at that. Direct public grants, we came in above budget on, which is great. Again, we have a lot of really fantastic people who work on grants for us. For example, Donna, who works like crazy on this and is fantastic at finding and getting grants for us. Investment income also came in over budget, which is great. If we take a quick look at the next slide, Kira. Just a detail on income. You can see those concert ticket sales. Again, a lot of that's Beethoven, which was fantastic. But we came out really well ahead of budget for that. Individual contributions. We had some really fantastic turnout from our individual donors this year, which is, again, really, really good. And hopefully something we can keep moving forward with the next year. A little under budget for our corporate contributions and sponsorships, something we can keep in mind for next year. membership dues, pretty much right on level where we were expected to be, and a little under with the poinsettia fundraiser. And yes, oh, here we go. So next slide is our expenses. As you can see, right, we managed to come in just under our budgeted expenses, which is great. Some really careful planning throughout the year made that possible. Operating expenses came in under, we did go a bit over on programming expenses, but with the others, we were able to balance that out for the budget overall. We spent a bit less on fundraising than anticipated, and then had just a little bit above or below budget for the others, but we're pretty close to the budget throughout, which is really good too. We do have a balanced budget approved for next year. And so again, financially it came out of last year in a really nice position. And we're hoping we can keep those lessons and ideas in mind moving forward for next year to make next year a financial success as well.
Okay, thank you.
Did you, next is the website. Did you want to talk about that too?
Oh, sure. We are updating the symphony website. So in large part, this is derived from making sure that we meet the current accessibility guidelines for users on the website, and also just a theme update too. So it'll be getting a spruce up. In addition to that, we do have a survey that we would love y'all to take if you have time, looking more at some of the content and functionality of the site, both the public site and the members only section of it. So if you have time and could give us some feedback on that, we'll incorporate that into the content redesign of the site. We're doing the accessibility one first, just to make sure the site is accessible to everyone. And then we'll be thinking about the content and site structure based on that survey feedback. So if you can take that, would be awesome. Thank you.
So for just another second for
Yep.
anyone to get the QR code. So yeah, Katie wears multiple hats. She, along with Erin and Kira, are on our digital best practices task force, dragging us kicking and screaming into the modern age, and helping us clean up a lot of our behind the scenes where we keep our data stored and our website, as you can see. And so they're helping us out big ways. So please help us out and give us some feedback on basically the things that you use on the site or the things that you find clunky to use on the site, that kind of stuff. This is more about usability.
I'll send that out in an email as well. So
Okay,
if
and
you
this will
don't,
also go out.
Yeah.
Grab the QR code. So now get your tissues ready. We have a message from Rito.
Hello to my dear BSO family. And I think this is like 11th take, by the way. I've been a little struggling to give the message. Anyway, I just have to say these past 2 years are and are going to be the most important 2 years of my life, without doubt. Just having the opportunity to be part of an organization or music organization that consists of people who care, who are passionate about music, who make music for not certain metric or to sell the tickets, but for pure joy and love for making music. Now, this is very rare thing, and I'm just so grateful to share the musical journey with you all in this group. Of course, one of the best memories that come to my mind first is the most recent performance at MAC, Beethoven's 9 and Daishon's piece. It was magical. But I think it also those small moments, in between the rehearsals, just exchanging what's going on in their lives, what's happening, how they're doing in the specific days, or sharing meals and drinks after the rehearsal and just talking some random things, or sharing the ride to the airport, and those 1 hour of getting to know and sharing what's going on in my life, in their life. And all those small moments are the one that, for me, made such a special sense of community in BSO. And I'm really, again, grateful for everybody in the BSO to be the ideal co-workers, ideal colleagues to be making music. And I guess I'm supposed to give a final report of the previous season, so I'm going to just go quickly. So we started off with the Bloomington Jazz Orchestra at the Sweetjar Park. It's one of my favorite concerts that we do, free to public and outdoor. And also fabulous group. I mean, you know, this is something that as a Bloomingtonian we have to cherish, that we have so many great organizations and musicians and individuals who are talented and who love making music, and being able to collaborate with them was very exciting. And in October, we had a concert featuring Amy Beach's Gaelic Symphony, and I hope you will get to perform her music again, because more people have to know the drama and beauty and excitement and the emotion that goes through music by Amy Beach. Celebrate the season, it's another our tradition. We had an opportunity to collaborate with Don't Call Me Betty. It's very exciting, and you know, I mean, for me, it's a cross genre. Collaboration is something that I'm passionate about, so I thoroughly enjoyed it. And in March, it was a personally special concert because I've got to share some of the musical roots of my country with Sean on shakuhachi, and then explored some of the interesting connections between Japanese composers, Japanese music, and the music of Richard Strauss. And then to close off, again, Beethoven 9 at Mac. I mean, we will never forget, well, I will never forget the moment as soon as I gave the last cutoff, the last movement, just applause, and then the scream of bravo, and that's why we do what we do. And I'm really grateful that I got to share that moment with very members of BSO. I will come visit, and that will be a surprise. I won't tell anybody that I will be there. So please behave. No, I'm kidding. I'm very sure that Michael will lead the group to another level, and I can tell the organization will thrive, continue to thrive for the members of the BSO, for the community of Bloomington, and for the larger community of music lovers and musicians. So until next time, see you then.
That see you to be.
Have to say. Before we start, we're doing.
One of us, one of us.
Hi, everybody. My name is Michael Patterson, and I have quite the distinct honor to say that I am now the music director of the Bloomington Symphony. Unplanned just now, but a huge testament goes to Rio for the last 2 years. Of course, I can say the same thing about the entire team, and I will in just a moment, but I mean, he even gave me a shout out in his goodbye video. That tells me the kind of character that he is, and I can see it I can feel it. I can feel the residuals of that. He and I yet to have a phone conversation because we're both too busy conductors and trying to find a schedule, and we will, but I'm sure he'll say nothing but good things about this group, and I'm looking forward to that conversation. So thank you, Rio, for that work and for uh, paving the way to this moment for me to enjoy. Um, and here we are. I wear this shirt because I live in Cincinnati and I do a lot of Cincinnati things. And one can read my bio and see all those things. But I want to make it very distinct that though I live there and will be doing the 2.5 hour commute, I'm also here. I'm also in Bloomington. I had a great day so far with Kira and Marianne, and we saw the suite with the offices, and I evidently didn't read my contract well enough to know that I got an office, so that was really nice surprise. Though admittedly, I spent 3 seconds in there and spent Winter Wonderland in Narnia in the library, looking at all the music that we can possibly play in the future. This is very exciting. It's very exciting, and I want to talk about the vision, and I want to talk about what we're going to do. But let me save that for after what we're immediately going to do. So next slide, please. We present season 57 of the Bloomington Symphony. Now, disclaimer: I did not, from square one, plan this. A lot of this was done by Rio and my colleagues, but I got in there and made some changes to personalize it a little bit. No credit to me. It's just because something didn't work, this and that, the other thing. And I think we finally arrived to something quite exciting. So starting with the Switchyard concert, August 30th, that's the first musical memories. It's going to be fun. That's the key word. That's the buzzword. How do you follow Beethoven 9? Sold out at the Mac. How does it happen? Then you have a summer off, everybody gets rusty, you hire a new music director, you give him 4 rehearsals with a brand new orchestra you've never worked with, and make it as good or better as Beethoven 9. Huh. Okay. So I played it safe repertoire-wise with the Switchyard concert. We're not going left field, right field, doing new and modern things, no commissions, no nothing. We're talking cartoon, Bugs Bunny style music. We're talking classical hits that the orchestra can put under their fingers rather quickly. They're going to love it. We're going to love it. Switchyard is going to love it. It's going to be a firecracker of a concert. It's going to be the kind of thing that people, even if they don't know classical music, they know these classical pieces. And my goal with that concert is to garner attention. It's to say, hey, we're here at Switchyard. We may not even be consciously listening to the orchestra, but wow, that was cool. Oh, that was fun. Oh, who's this group again? Like, those are the people I'm aiming for. Of course, we have the Bloomingtonians who know the Bloomington Symphony, and they're going to come back and they're going to keep coming. But I'm aiming for the Switchyarders that may not have the BSO in their subconscious, and we can just grab it and bring it with us along for the remainder of the season. That's my goal. So we're doing selections from Carmen Suite, we're doing Copland's Hoedown, we're doing things like if you've ever heard of Ponchielli's Dance of the Hours from La Gioconda. Maybe you don't know the name of this, but it's in Fantasia, Disney's Fantasia. It's used from the comedian's tune, Hello Mata, Hello Fada. I don't know if you ever heard this little sketch before. And there's others. There's lots jogging on in my brain right now. And so Switchyard is going to be a great time. Concert number 2, different tone. We have We the People, which is a title I do not take credit for, but I love. It is we're following suit with the American 250th anniversary, doing things just a little bit differently. American voices, but American voices that shall I say, we need to hear, right? We will start the concert with Copland Hoedown. It gathers some real estate because we've already learned it, right? Good, strong concert opener, 3 minutes. And then from there, Gary Powell Nash's In Memoriam Sojourner Truth. It's a piece that is going to herald and take us back in history and tell a story that needs to be told. And alongside with that in the concert, we're going to end with William Grant Still's Afro-American Symphony, his first symphony. It's a wildly musical and just exciting piece of music, one that needs to be played more often, one that is gaining attention. I'm very excited to do it. There's some jazz involved, but there's still serious harmonies and harmonic structures and storytelling. It's a very captivating piece of music. The last piece on that concert that's not yet tied with the bow, but my goal is to be able to play it, is a piece by living composer Sonia Yvette Morales Matos, a Puerto Rican composer, living by coincidence in Cincinnati, Ohio, where I am. I have not met her, have every intention to do so very soon. And she's written a concerto for the Puerto Rican cuatro, which is a 5-string guitar, used to be 4-string guitar. Cuatro, they added fifth, didn't rename it to cinco, but and being Puerto Rican myself, this is something that is wildly meaningful and part of the American dialogue, right? You only have to go back to February where Bad Bunny played, and the whole conversation turned into why is this Hispanic performing at the American Super Bowl? Well, Puerto Ricans are anyway. Yes. And so, for an American We the People concert, I thought it might be very appropriate to have a Puerto Rican composer. We don't have the piece, we don't have the cuatro player. That's my job. Okay, so stay tuned. I'm really hoping it's going to happen. Concert 3, celebrate the season. No different. We're still doing it. This year, the theme is going to be based on winter films. So we're talking Polar Express. We're talking Home Alone. We're talking
Die Hard.
Yeah, right. Yeah. We just talked about it.
Do it.
We could do Beethoven again.
So let's take. I'm sorry. This needs to be interrupted. I need to take a vote. Raise your hand if Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
Duh.
Okay. So I know who my people are. Okay. If we can find a good and rather inexpensive arrangement, we will do it. That now has become Marion's job. TBD. But anyway, it's a winter film themed concert. It's going to be fun. It's going to be great. Concert 4. Some assembly required, the IKEA of concerts. This was not my idea. I love it. It might be the most challenging musical thing I've ever had to try to curate. I'm the new kid on the block, so I came in to the scene hearing about the BSO playlist. It's a playlist that, if you don't know, there's been a list thrown out, a query thrown out for people to vote for their favorite symphonic movement or standalone piece. You say Tchaikovsky's Fourth Symphony, the finale is their favorite.
No, second movement.
The second movement. Okay, you see, so this is the dialogue happening. There's a whole spreadsheet right now. And unbeknownst to Kira, I put all these pieces into ChatGPT, so the data so far. And I said, can you pump out the highest number of votes and stuff? And so I have a scope. That's funny. So on this concert, which by the way will be shared with Bridges Ensemble, as well as contain the concerto competition winner. To date, every piece of music in March 7th concert, I do not know what it is. Because it will contain music that we play with Bridges that is from that list. It will contain the concerto winner that we don't know what it will be. And then after the intermission, it will be a 4-movement symphony that is curated from that list to create our own BSO symphony, containing a movement 1, 2, 3, and 4 of different composers, different pieces. It'll be interesting. My job is to make it good. Not just interesting. So stay tuned. I have, how many months is that? Anyway, to make that. And finally, May 16th, the big question for me was, how do you follow Beethoven 9 sold out at the MAC? How do you do it? How do you do it? Well, the answer, you don't go lower than Beethoven 9. You have to supersede it. If you stretched the orchestra this high to sell at the MAC to do Beethoven 9, that's now the bar. So what do you do to raise the bar? We're not going to be the MAC. Although there's conversation about returning to the Mac in the future, that's still out of my hands in some ways. I have to figure out how to have the right conversations with the right people. I do have every intention to go back someday with the whole group. But I thought, well, we won't have a chorus, but maybe we'll have a group that's just as big as the total chorus of the orchestra. And the only way you do that is with the Mahler Symphony. So we will end the concert with Mahler Symphony number 1. But that to me is not even the most exciting part of that concert. We'll end with Mahler. But in the beginning of the concert, just as Rio was saying in the video that one of his loves was collaboration, that's also one of my loves. I do love to collaborate. There's not too much collaboration this year because I'm new, because I don't know the Bloomingtonians quite yet. That's my job through the year. But there's already one that has been given to me on a silver platter, laid on my lap, and I've gotten the privilege to already meet. And that is the very uniquely Bloomingtonian group, Salam, that I'm aware that everybody knows. You can see this right here. By the way, I'm privileged to have you here. I can't wait to talk after meetings. But the whole first half of the final concert is going to be a collaborative portion with the group Salam, which will involve some music that they play that is of their original compositional portion, and then some music written by Dina's brother, Amir, is it? Amir? Yeah, who has written a piece entitled The Two Rivers Symphonic Suite, which contains a myriad of flavors that is uniquely classical, but also uniquely of, is it Arabic origin? Am I correct? With Makam style playing?
Yeah,
Right? Okay.
That's perfect.
Just making sure. I have the specialist in front of me, so I'm
It's
not.
scary.
It's a blend, but done in just the best way possible. I've already heard recordings. I've seen the score. It's extremely well done. You are not going to want to miss this concert. I'm telling you right now. You're not going to want to miss the season. But if there's a concert that we're aiming for, every single concert is pushing the momentum forward to our finale. Which brings me to my point that I was going to say in the beginning. When I came upon, got the job, signed the contract, then immediately started thinking, okay. By the way, conductors doing auditions to get a job, you forget to think about what happens when you get the job. So you win the audition and then now I have to do the job. I have to create the season. I have to make music, rather inspire the people who matter to make the music. Conductors aren't doing anything. Conductors, without the people making the music, we are absolutely useless. And our job is to inspire the best of the people that are in front of us to make their best music. And so growing up as a musician, the word that ended up being my own personal curse word, started with a P, was potential. You have so much potential. A rival word to that is talent. You have so much talent. You have so much potential. You hear that in the beginning, you think, wow, I'm special. But if the potential never gets realized, then what is it worth? Truthfully, not much. And so my goal, my vision for the Bloomington Symphony Orchestra, starting this year, but for as long as I can see, is to wring out the potential and turn that into actual physical, audible, palpable beauty, inspiration, and propelling of a community forward in the best of natures. I want the city of Bloomington, if not the state of Indiana, to be a better place because of the Bloomington Symphony. I want this group to make the best, not only make the best audible music that they can make, but the feelings that we emit. It's a place that not only do I want to go to hear what they do, but I want to be in the room and feel what they do. I want to, like, I can't imagine, I want them to say that I can't imagine a better place to be tonight than this concert. That's my goal. As I've been watching, I've come, July 1 was the beginning of my tenure. Learned about the 12 committees that exist. And the 10 emails or 50 emails I get every day. Okay. And you know, this board and this committee and this thing, and I've missed a meeting or two here or there because there's just, oh my goodness, there's so much happening. And that's good news. To me, that means that this orchestra wants to be here. They want to do what they're doing. All the committees are propelling forward to do what they do. The orchestra is chomping at the bits to be in their seats. And so I leave all of this capability in the hands of my colleagues to garner the attention and get the tickets, to make sure that the logistics and the data are clear and pushing forward. My job is to make sure that the orchestra is making the best music that they could possibly make, so that the people who are coming to watch want to keep coming back. And that's what I intend to do. So thank you for having me here at the beginning of this season. And I promise you, it's going to be great. We're going to have a lot of fun. Thank you, everybody.
Stuff that's coming. A few more administrative boxes that we need to make sure we check. If you have not already done so, this is at least the last reminder that I'm going to give you tonight. Please make sure you do your ballot to get our 3 new board members fully on the up and up. Just as a quick reminder, these 3 new folks, they are not running against each other. We just need you to approve each one to be on the board. Okay, it's not a competition. You just need a yay or nay. Please vote yay. They're good. Approved by the board. They've already been coming to meetings, so please make them official for us and submit your ballot. Doing so is part of how we also get quorum. All of you here are counting towards quorum, so just make sure you do your ballot, please. It really does help us a lot. And then if you are not already on a committee or 12, join one. We have 5 standing committees. We have education and outreach, who handle a lot of the getting out into the local schools. They are going to come here this weekend to do instrument petting zoo on Sunday. They do the children's instrument recovery program, sure, to put instruments for free into the hands of school-age children who can't afford to rent them, or for anyone really. It's a really great program, and that committee in particular could use some folks. The chair, Vicky, having stepped down, the time is now to get in there, and that committee could use some extra folks right now. Marketing and communications, they handle all the fun Facebook stuff that you see. They handle any of the sort of advertising that we do, the marketing stuff, coming up with the names for concerts. That was us. That was marketing and communications. So you can join that if you are tech savvy, if you want to help us out with social media, that kind of stuff. That's a good committee for that. Operations and development. It sounds boring, but it is crucially important. Those are the folks who do all the budget stuff and who get to count the pennies and decide where the pennies go and how the pennies work and all of that. They don't do pennies anymore.
I was just gonna say that.
Nickels. But then fundraising are the ones who help that money in the first place. Fundraising is doing big and exciting things in supporting the relationship that we have with donors and trying to find new businesses to sponsor us, that kind of stuff. Fundraising is vitally important to this organization. They all are. And then orchestra recruitment and development for musicians in the orchestra only, but they're the ones who get to pick what gets played with Michael's help. But if you have big thoughts on the music that you want to play as a musician, that's your home. That's where you need to be. But then if meeting monthly is not in the cards for you, if that's too big of a commitment, but you still want to be involved, we actually have a whole plethora of non-standing committees or kind of ad hoc as needed task forces, various things that I have started calling things task forces,
Subcommittees.
calls, subcommittees. Yeah. I just, and so I tend to overcommit everything. Sorry, not sorry. But we have lots of other things that are just constantly happening. So if you have a skill set, if you have something you feel passionately about, if you want to help out in other ways, we can find a place for you. Just come talk to us. There's always stuff happening. There's always a need for more sacrificial victims and people to help in our cause. So please join if you can. And now is the time to turn it back to you. If you have any questions, we can try our best to answer them. If you have any comments that you would like to make, like I said before, any epiphanies, earth-shattering revelations, anything, now is the time. I just ask that before you share your thoughts, that you do introduce yourself, since we do have new people, including Michael. Please make sure to identify yourself before you speak. Who would like to get us started?
Yeah, hey, Emily. I'm Emily. Yes, I'm principal second violin.
Let the record know, Emily exciting.
Yeah. It says Emily News. It's very exciting.
Carl had to go, but first he said, Mueller! Exclamation point, and said he has to take off, but then, but thanks for all the work that went into the meeting. I'm inspired and excited for the season.
Yay. Okay, thank you to Carl.
Carl, our clarinetist.
Clarinetist
And
vice president,
yeah.
vice president of collaborative leadership on the fundraising committee, on the this and the that.
Does he do anything else? I'm kidding.
He just retired, so.
So it's gonna be even this
Even this.
Yes.
I'm fine, work it off for. Other questions or any questions? Yeah, Janet.
One of the founding members of this symphony. I'm so glad to see where you are today at your 57th year, because we didn't know where we were going in the beginning, but it's just.
Board member,
You're okay.
viola player.
Everybody knows why.
We do now.
Doug McDaniel. I just wondered whether the board has come to any kind of conclusions about what the differentiators were between, for example, the first 3 or 4 concerts and the one that sold out the pack. Is it venue? Is it repertoire? I'll give you an example. So I remember when I first came back to the symphony, we did Whole Planet and we sold out the BCT. We did Holtz again this year or last year. We did not sell out.
A few years ago.
You might think, well, then that kind of excludes repertoire, maybe, from being a differentiator. But there have to be some things that are differentiators that we can focus on to ensure, because from my perspective, it's a whole lot more fun when we're playing for more people. Period. I mean, I love playing good music, all that, but everything else being even close to equal, when you have an audience that is energized and packed and all that, it just, really makes a big difference.
Yeah, thank you, Doug. Yeah. So Doug has asked for any thoughts that we have on the difference between the concerts that make it versus the ones that don't, things that we've noticed there. And just from my perspective, it's kind of, you have to get everything lined up just right. You have to have the repertoire, the stuff that people line up and want to come here. You have to have the hype. We were pushing Beethoven a solid month out. You have to have everything lined up just right. And sometimes it happens, sometimes there's a football game on the same night, the concert that we didn't realize, stuff like that comes out of left field sometimes. The Holtz example you gave was a great one. That the first time when we did sell out with that one was before my time, but I've seen images and clips. What we had Gabe Lubell giving a talk about the actual astrology. We had different collaborators in there. And then the second time when it didn't sell out, we were just playing it straight. It was also coming right off of COVID and people just weren't quite coming back yet. And so again, so many variations. But Donna, please, if you want to.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
the thing with the planets, the sellout thing, it had a lot of external connections. I think one of the things we're noted for as an orchestra is we don't just play we sit in our seats and go like this after, whatever. We actually had a season maybe 15 years ago where the season title was Clap When You Feel Like It. That was the season title. And it really annoyed the arts writer in the Hero Plans. He's like, I don't think that's appropriate. I'm like, we want it. And so people that season would have like a solo or something, would have a solo, maybe it wasn't you, first fellow would have a solo. And somebody in the balcony went in the middle. We were like, oh, that was Charles Latchuk when he was conductor. And so we are not a traditional thing. So when we push boundaries, when we involve more elements, the planets thing we did in collaboration with the astronomy department. And so they helped promote it. We actually had pre-concert, we had nights where you could go with, I think it was Gabe or one of the other guys. You could go like to the what do you call it, telescope thing, and he would show you stuff. He'd show you like planets and that sort of thing. So we had a lot of stuff building up and leading up to this. And then the last time we did it with Alejandro, it was much less engaged. There was, it was more of a straight concert. We didn't have a slideshow, but it really didn't hit all the boxes, and it was right post COVID. The Beethoven involved so many people. We have 100 people with us. We had 132 people in the choir. They were telling their friends about it. They were help building the thing. When that started getting things, I started getting calls from people wanting articles, wanting to do interviews, wanting this, wanting that, and that sort of thing. So it built on itself, just the sheer number of people involved. And I think that's a difference.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, please, yeah, all the way in the back, yeah. Britta.
As a musician, oftentimes we don't see the final product coming together until the very end. So like the collaborations that are going on are oftentimes at the board level or at the committee level, and it doesn't actually trickle down to the musician if you're not involved on a committee. And so sometimes in a dress rehearsal or a Thursday rehearsal before the concert, we finally see what comes together. And so it's really hard to drum up interest in our networks. And so the more that can be brought out and the more we can talk about those collaborations in the rehearsals and for us to understand what's going on, I would love that, because that's how we can get our friends to come, or family, friends, network, whatever, because we can talk about it too. So the more that can happen.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so for the folks on Zoom, I'm not sure if you can hear the folks in the room that well. That was Britta Getz, oboist, suggesting something that I've also been thinking a lot about, ways that marketing, we can empower all of you, all of the people in the orchestra, to start getting the word out sooner, to know more about what we're doing sooner. In the days past, there would be actual emails and things that would go out that people would share with their friends. And I'm hoping we can revive things like that. Yeah. So just something that we've been thinking a lot about as well. I saw Dan first, and then David, and then Caleb.
Cellist. I'm just gonna piggyback on what Donna finished. That idea of having the different courses and collaborating with not just one group but several. I think obviously repertoire has a lot to do with it. There's orchestral music that people have heard of, even if they're not headed to orchestral music, and then there's Beethoven. I think it's kind of category distinction. But more than anything, I think it was having all of those different groups. And I think the concert in the MAC was unique for being able to facilitate the size and scope. So I think it's in some ways it's a really tremendous feat for ticket sales, for fundraising and everything, but it was kind of circular one. I think we got that because we had the space to bring that many people, you know.
And space really is a big factor too. Doing the Holst concert at the BCT pushes the limits of what we can fit on that stage. There's no room. No room up on that stage for people. So Holst's plan, it's a sort of our mental boundary of what we can fit on that stage. And so beyond that, we have to figure out other venues. Okay, so David Dawson.
I'm David Dawson, Local Section. I wanted to say that one of the things that happened, I think, with Beethoven is right from the outset of the season, we were promoting that as a big event, that this would be a really special finale to the season. And yes, we did ramp up our marketing of it in the last month, but every time I talk to somebody about the BSO, I say, oh, come to this concert in October, but put this on your calendar. Hey, this is going to be spectacular. And I think we have a lot of internal momentum and excitement about where that was going to end up, well before we even started rehearsing it, which I think is infectious. And I think that helped us build that place.
Yeah, that momentum was huge. And now Mahler, we have it. So absolutely. Yeah. Thank you, David. Did you all know that generally people will take about one solid month after they start to see advertisements for an event? They will take one solid month to actually decide to buy a ticket for it.
Wow. And 7 iterations.
And at least
seven visual things to hear about it 7 times.
Yep, and so that's something for us to keep in mind as well. That we got to get that word out. Caleb.
I know I'm brand new here, so don't throw rocks. Oh yeah, Caleb Bradford. You're going to be voting on me, so whatever I say, if it's bad, within I didn't. Question, I'm coming at this from a very odd standpoint. So I work in the finance world, and those that do have worked in the finance world know that everything's built on data analytics. I was actually curious, do we have a data analytics subcommittee or anything like that?
We just started one.
Last
week.
Advertising.
Yeah, great. Okay, good.
Yep, we just met for the first time last week. We will invite you to the next one. Yes, Michael.
I just want to piggyback. Is it David?
Yes.
David, I want to piggyback off of what David was saying, and also you, Alexis, that there was the hype and drive to Beethoven, and I can already feel even from just this room that there might be a similar drive to Mahler. Yes. I want to encourage everybody not to leapfrog the season. Right? Yeah. Don't go from Switchyard to Mahler, but rather think of a sort of tunnel or like a through path that every concert leads to one another. I do encourage inviting everyone to the season finale to see Mahler, but in order to see that, come see Switchyard, come see the We the People concert, come to celebrate the season, come to the playlist concert. Everyone has its own special exciting quality. And so in your frame of mind, as we're moving towards the season finale, remember how exciting every concert is going to be. And so that you almost can't help but invite them to everyone. Start practicing that narrative instead of merely saying, we have the November concert, but in May. I want to avoid that dialogue, if that makes sense.
Absolutely, yes. Yeah. Yes, please. Yes, Janet.
We might want to focus on selling more season tickets.
The actual season ticket package. Yes. Yeah. That is something that we've been discussing. We don't have them up yet. We've also been starting internally to think about what are some of the perks we can offer to season ticket holders. like special invitation to a house concert in October
Oh.
at Shay, Carl, and Beth. Stay
October
tuned.
or November.
Right, it's probably October.
Okay.
Probably October. But more details to come for specific types of donors and specific types of ticket holders. Yeah, it's going to be more exclusive there, more of a thank you. But thank you. Yes, we do need to do more per season tickets to promote that as a thing. Yeah. Other thoughts?
6:30.
Yes, come on.
On that subject, I've been watching people get their season ticket, IU auditorium ticket. People have been talking about that. This is not something that's in my budget or my schedule, possibilities. But I've heard so many people saying, well, I've got to get a season ticket. You save so much money. Like, they've really decided, you know, I would just go to fewer things and also save the money. No, they're not thinking like that. They're thinking that this is such a good deal and I've got to do it now. And as a result, the auditorium is going to have all these tickets. But I don't know how big the difference is between the individual performance ticket sales, but maybe that's something we could take into account.
Yes,
Fair.
definitely something to consider. Sorry. Okay, one more from Britta, and then we might need to wrap it up, but we can do some more informal conversation. Yeah, Britta. Okay.
I was wondering if there's been
Football game. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Football game and like really bad. It was very cold.
Yeah, it was
people
so
weren't coming in tree life.
I think it works with the canopy of lights. It's a really neat opportunity for us to be more visible and
Yeah.
And so I just like I don't know if that would be possible or if running the model be like what people would be willing to donate as like on a donation basis. Right, that's possible.
Yeah. Rachel, you gonna piggyback on that?
Yeah.
Okay. please.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm Rachel Carney and I'm hoping to be a new member of the board. I just want to say, I have not done independent research on this, but I was speaking to somebody in Constellation Stage and on the team who said that the pay as you can night, they made more money than they had made. So I think and I can see that happening. I think it's an excellent opportunity for.
Yeah, this is definitely something that has come up in some of our internal conversations of a pay as you go, or a pay what you can model for at least one event. So it is something that we have been discussing. Maybe not specifically for that one. I'm not sure how it would work with the relationship with the BCT. But we are, Aaron, maybe you're about to say this. We are going to have some more conversations with them. You know, they've been increasing their fees. We're still trying to come up with solutions with the BCT specifically to try to do something about those costs. Yeah, Aaron, real quick, and then we do need to wrap.
Over the weekend, the BCT hosted like a girls' rock concert, and that was the pay as you go model. So
Okay.
it could be done.
Okay, so they're willing to do it. So it gives us more food for thought there. Yes, very quickly.
I think that we should make it a part of our goal to increase the youth attendance at our concert, because this is our future, the future of our art. And we've got to come up with some ideas, maybe for an organization that would sponsor bringing youth in to our concert hall. And I think has to be an imperative. The other thing I've been thinking about is that we have to sell our concert season. When I was just starting in the business, it was there was a book called Subscribe Now that everybody was reading. It was very, very, very important. And I started my group that turned into a livelihood for 5 people for all the middle part of my life by starting out with a concert series. And I think we need to design a concert series that makes every concert is a concert that you cannot miss. We have to sell it that you can't miss this concert. It's like skipping a chapter in a book. Don't miss this concert. You will miss out on something very important. So that's all.
Thank you, Richard Fraser. That goes nicely with what Michael said about how don't just skip to smaller. Each concert is a step on the path, and selling the whole package. The idea of getting a corporate sponsor maybe to help sponsor in getting in more kids, that is certainly something we've been talking about, looking for corporate sponsors to sponsor in, say, people in retirement communities. But the other end too, absolutely. Filing it away for fundraising. So thank you. So I think that needs to conclude our official meeting. Did I miss anybody on Zoom? Any burning questions there?
No.
Okay. I hate to do that. So thank you all for being here. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for voting. Please make sure you do so if you haven't already. One more reminder. I said it was going to be my last one. Feel free to still chit chat. We have the room for a little bit, but we are going to be getting cleaned up, and then the library is going to start yelling at us, "Get out of here!" So thank you. Thank you all.
I have wind brass percussion folders. Strings, first violence, at least probably second violence tomorrow. Just text me, email me.
I'll send out a reminder.
Yes.
Okay.
Who would like to join us at Upland in a little bit? If you are coming to Upland, come. Raise your hand. Upland. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
I called you earlier in the racial mine.
Exactly. Yeah, probably still. So very young. Shut up. This much fraction, but I've not seen it.
Yeah, it follows the speaker and has the multi.
It follows the speaker, but it follows with the speaker. Yeah.
Right.